Good morning guys, welcome to Lost Phoenix Gaming. Having a look at the Forzathon for Forza Motorsport 7 today. First off, we've got Cooling Down for the 1980s Scooby Brat GL Forza Edition. We've got Redlining for 60,000 credits, and of course we've got Vintage Life for the Porsche. Pulling away, not doing too badly. So what we have is win a race at Maple Valley in a Sport Touring Division car. So trying to make a few short races. So on Maple Valley, having a nice race round. Looking at the challenges this week in advance, it does look like there is one I can combine, which is definitely good, bit of a time saver, because if you can combine challenges it's always good to do so. So there's only a short circuit, which is good, so I'm coming up towards the line now, almost done. And of course over the line in 52 seconds, so not bad going. So I've got the Dodge Challenger, the Hellcat, which is a really nice car. Got the pop-up saying you've made progress in cooling down, and of course the next pop-up saying I've completed cooling down. So I'll have a look into the Forzathon screen and see what's next. I've got Redlining, which is complete 3 laps in a Lotus car. But let's have a look at the other ones. Complete a race at Sonoma in a Classic Street Muscle Division car. I've got complete a race where you go at least 150 and win a race in the Vintage Sport Compact Division car. Okay. The other one on Redlining is 183 miles an hour in a Ferrari Enzo. So let's see what I can combine. I don't think I can do much of this one. So keeping it American and complete a race in Sonoma in a street muscle car. Got the Oldsmobile, which is not a brand we have in Europe, but classic American muscle. Painted up accordingly, of course. Got Sonoma in the early morning by the look of it. It's not doing too badly, although it's a bit wonky on the corners. Yeah, I don't know what's been going on recently with the Xbox. The recordings have had the sound slightly wonky on them. I am on the beta track for the Xbox OS updates, so some of the software might be a bit dodgy, but hopefully it seems to have been fixed now. So I think that's one of the reasons my audio was out of sync on a couple of my videos last week. It is because I am running beta program to get early access to features and updates. But of course the trade-off with beta being that the software you get isn't really the finished version. It's close to the finished version, because I think I'm 3rd or 4th track, so I'm not early beta, I'm quite late on, but I still get things a few days early. But crossing the finish line in 1 minute 42, all seems good. So Oldsmobile, giving me a progress pop-up. You've made progress in vintage life. Fantastic. On to Forzathon. What's next? You've got the Lotus one, and you've got complete a race where you go at least 150 mile an hour in a vintage GT car. Offhand, I don't think Lotus make vintage GT cars. So far we've had a bit of an all-American theme. On the Forzathon today we've had American cars on American tracks, and this one's not much different. I've got the Shelby Cobra in the classic blue with white racing stripe. Love the car, it's really nice. It's one of those cars where you spend a bit of silly money on it, but it's really nice, it drives really well. And you can get a fair speed out of it. So off to the brickyard, 150 mile an hour. All I need to do is get onto a straight and actually hammer it, which, to be fair, isn't really a problem. There you go, I've hit 150 and it's still going. I love the Shelby Cobra. It's got that classic 1940s, 1950s racing design about it. It's up there with the Aston Martin, and up there with a lot of the other early Grand Prix races. And the mad thing is, this is actually a production car. This wasn't a track car, a track toy, anything like this. This is actually a production vehicle. And across the line, no problems whatsoever. One minute, 9 seconds. Which of course gives me a pop-up. You've made progress in vintage life. Rock and roll. So, Forzathon, and let's have a look what I can do now. Win a race in a vintage sport compact division car, and complete 3 laps in any Lotus manufacturer car. I might be able to combine this. Vintage sport compact, yes, if I remember correctly, I think there is actually a Lotus that can do this for me. But I'll go in and I'll have a look and I'll see what I can do. The other race course is 183 in me Ferrari Enzo. So I've got the Top Gear circuit up. So obviously I'm doing the Lotus Challenge, a British car at a British circuit. Why not? I've got this weird bog-eyed Lotus Elise. Absolutely crazy. Hasn't got the defining style of the American muscle cars. Hasn't got the curvy sleekness of the Italian and European supercars. This is a car which, quite frankly, looks like it was built in a backyard in Bradford. Of course, Lotus is a funny one. It's a company which for many years had this really good reputation as a performance manufacturer, but in reality they're quite a small company from based in the middle of nowhere, Britain. So it's actually pretty good going. But I'm on the Top Gear circuit, which is Dunsfold Aerodrome. 3 laps. Not the quickest car in the world, but it doesn't really matter too much. 3 laps around Dunsfold. This is on the short circuit. I'm not doing full circuit. Otherwise, 1, it might take me a bit too long, and 2, I might be inclined to go into full Clarkson and start doing the commentaries a la Top Gear. But the last few weeks I've looked at all 3 tracks now in the UK. I've raced on Brands Hatch. Last week I picked up a challenge on Silverstone, and of course there's Dunsfold, which is actually a private aerodrome, but they close it for purposes of filming. What I'll be interested to see is when season 3 of the Grand Tour comes out. Apparently there's going to be a game where you can go episodic week by week and race for cars and do different things that they're looking at on the show for that week. I really want to take some hypercar, something around the Bolodrome, just to give that a blast. So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully that is on the Xbox, because I'm not sure what platform it's on. So I'll be definitely looking forward to the Grand Tour game a bit later in the year when that does launch. So it's Lotus Elan against the Giulietta, which of course is an Alfa Romeo. Pop-ups telling me I've made progress in redlining, and another one saying I've made progress in vintage life. And my other pop-up telling me I've completed vintage life in this weird yellow bog-eyed Lotus. Onto a Forzathon and claim my reward, which is the 1960 Porsche 718 RS60. Looking cool. And redlining, which is the final challenge. Complete a race where you go at least 183 miles an hour in the 2002 Ferrari Enzo. I don't own the Enzo, so I've had to go in and actually buy it. I've got loads of Ferraris, loads of different stuff, but I don't actually own the Enzo, which is a bit bizarre. I thought I did. So that will cost me about 1.2 million, although it's covered up by my logo in the corner. But is it worth the investment? I don't know. Well, it's a Ferrari, of course it's worth the investment. But what I'm going to do is try something different. I'm going to put a tune on it. Not that you need to tune Ferraris most of the time. I'm going to put a tune on this and have a look and see if I can complete this on the drag circuit. I don't want to be downgrading it this way, because obviously I've bought it through the main menu, and it's bought it for a race menu, and it does put stock parts on it rather than the division specification. So let's try this on the drag strip. What I'll do is get some tunes. I think I need some tunes for my nose and throat at the moment. I'm a bit sniffling, a bit grim. But having a quick look, what have we got? That's not a bad 1980. Have a look through, see what we've got. That's not a bad tune. 1,107 horsepower, P-Class, new set of tyres. So, yeah, I think I might go for that one. It's quite a big increase. Well, it's quite a subtle increase in performance, but you see the acceleration was a lot higher, so, as well as the top speeds. So let's try this on the drag strip. A quarter of a mile at Dubai. Hopefully it's long enough. I'm not entirely sure. This is the first time I've actually done this to see how fast the car will actually go. So let's give this a go, shall we? One car, quarter of a mile drag. So you're hammering it and launch. Bit of a slow start, but never mind. 130, 160, 165, so I haven't gone off track. If this is half a mile, it would do it, but a quarter of a mile is a bit too short to hit 183, even in the tuned up Enzo. So I'm going to have to go back and have to do a circuit race. So hitting the circuit, I'm at Monza. Pulling away really nicely. This is the short circuit, partly because of time, partly because there's one hell of a long straight on the home run. So there's one hell of a long straight before you get to the final corner. So let's hit it. I've put 2 laps down just in case I needed another run up, but in all honesty it doesn't look like I'm going to. I've just passed 190 and hitting the brakes hard, bit of a drift around the corner. So easy done, absolutely easy in 1 lap. I have got 2 laps just as a safety zone because I don't pre-test any of this. Well, I can't, because if I did I'd achieve it and I wouldn't be recording it, but this is pretty much working everything out as I go. So around there, not too bad. Doesn't take long. Got my long straight. Let's see if I can beat 190 mile an hour. Yeah, I touched 190 before I'd start slowing down. If it wasn't for the fact I've got an opponent in this race, it isn't just a simple hot lap. I'd have just hammered it into the wall, see what the top speed would be out of it, but over the line with a skid and a crash, 48 seconds per lap. 48 seconds for my fastest lap. Can't really go too far wrong on that against the Ferrari F50 GT. That was easy. Pop up saying you've made progress, also asking me if I like the tune, which I do, so I said yes. And congratulations, you've completed red lining, so that should be my final challenge for the day. So pop up 60,000 credits. Simple to a point. You can't really go wrong. I've still got my October VIP and car pass, which I can't do, but these are my challenges. Cooling down for the Scooby Brat, red lining for 60,000 credits, and vintage life for the Porsche 718. All the orders I did were that's your one step, your 2 step, and your 3 step. Although I did them in a slightly different order, but if it saves time, it saves time, I guess. Right, so that's this week's all done. This picture was from the start of the challenges, so of course it still looks like they're active, but they're not. Moving on. So moving on, let's have a look at next week's challenges. So next week we've got Claws Out for the Day of the Dead driver gear, Witching Hour for 60,000 credits, and Ringleader for the Clown driver gear. So Claws Out need that extra grip, probably 4x4 type things. Wolfing Rabbit's clothing for Witching Hour. Imagine it might have something to do with sleeper cars maybe. And Ringleader, quite a circus you have there. Haven't got a clue, but maybe mixed division racing. I don't know. I really don't know about this. So we'll have a look. They'll come up on Friday, so I'll have a look at that. And remember, hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with what I'm doing. If you like what I'm doing, hit that like button. Leave me a comment if you feel the need to do so. So that's that for this week. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, nothing too much of a problem. Managed to combine a couple of challenges along the way. So until next time, guys, thank you very much for watching. Take it easy and happy driving.